You'd never guess my gluten-free chocolate chip cookies aren't the real thing. Crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside, they'll instantly become your new go-to chocolate chip cookie recipe. Hey, it's Kristen from Iowa Girl Eats, where we make easy gluten-free recipes using everyday ingredients. Today we're gonna make my gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. Now these cookies are buttery and crispy around the edges and nice and dense and chewy in the center. They are everything you could ever want in a chocolate chip cookie made gluten-free. I have a large mixing bowl with 1 stick of softened butter, and it's important that it's nice and soft. To the butter, we're gonna add brown sugar. This will make sure our cookies are nice and chewy and sweet. And then regular granulated sugar. And I'm gonna mix this until the mixture is nice and creamy and light in color. We're gonna add 1 egg and a splash of vanilla and then mix that until it's just combined. Next, we're going to mix up our dry ingredients. So I have a gluten-free all-purpose flour with an added binder like xanthan gum. So to that, I'm going to add a little bit of baking soda and a pinch of salt. And the salt is really necessary to balance out all the sweetness in the cookie recipe. So we'll just give that a whisk. And I'm gonna add this to the wet ingredients in 2 increments, mixing until the first increment is just combined, just barely combined, and then I'll add the second one. The last thing to add is the chocolate chips. Please be sure you're using gluten-free chocolate chips for this recipe. I have a half baking sheet here that I just lined with a piece of parchment paper. That makes for easy cleanup and even baking. And then we're gonna scoop our dough onto the parchment paper here. And you can bake this dough right away, or you can let it rest in the refrigerator for up to 72 hours, believe it or not. And honestly, your cookies are just going to get better and better the longer they sit in the fridge. They bake a little bit more evenly that way, and the flavors are a little bit more rich. But whether you bake them now or later, they are going to be delicious. Scoop the cookies about 2 inches apart to account for spreading in the oven. Now, if you want some really beautiful looking chocolate chip cookies, my little tip is to place some extra chocolate chips right on top of your dough balls, and they will stay on top as the cookies bake and will make for a beautiful presentation at the end. This is totally optional, but who doesn't love more chocolate? We'll bake our cookies at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes, or until the outsides are nice and golden brown and the insides are still pale. Let the cookies rest for at least 5 minutes before transferring them to a cooling rack to cool completely. There are few things better than a plate full of chocolate chip cookies, gluten-free at that, and so I just have to dive in. Look at how beautifully brown they are on the outside and nice and dense and chewy on the inside. I just have to take a bite. These are so good. I cannot wait for you to try these.